Welcome to the class, children. Our topic for today is heating effect of electric current. We know that there are some devices like an electric iron, electric toaster, kettle, etc., which get heated up when electric current is passed through them. These devices are based on heating effect of electric current. Sometimes this heating effect is desirable, as in the case of these appliances which are shown on the screen, but sometimes it may not be desirable. For example, if you run an electric motor for a longer duration of time, it gets hot after some time. This heat produced may lead to the damage of the appliance, and it also leads to the dissipation of useful electrical energy into unuseful form like heat energy. So, what is the heating effect of electric current? It states that when electric current flows through a high resistance wire like nichrome, it becomes hot after some time. This transformation of electrical energy to heat energy is called heating effect of electric current or Joule's heating. Next, we will discuss about some factors on which this heat produced depends. This will fall under the topic Joule's law of heating. So before we come to the statement of Joule's law, let us derive it. To derive Joule's law of heating, we consider a charge Q which is flowing through a potential difference of V volt. So work done in this case will be equal to V into Q by the definition of potential difference. Also we know that from Ohm's law V is equal to IR, and from the formula of current Q is equal to IT. Putting these two equations, equation 2 and 3 in equation 1, we get that the work done is equal to I square RT. Now this work done gets converted to heat energy. So heat produced will be equal to I square RT. This relation is called Joule's law of heating. Note here that in this relation, the heat H is in joule, current I is in ampere, resistance R is in ohm, and time T is in second. Now let us state the statement of Joule's law. It states that the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of current, and it is also directly proportional to the resistance, and it is directly proportional to the time as well. That is, heat produced is proportional to the square of I, proportional to R, proportional to T time as well. Means the larger the value of current passed, the more will be the heat produced. The larger the value of resistance through which current is passing, the more is the heat produced. The larger the time for which current is passed, the more is the heat produced. So this is Joule's law of heating. Next, let us discuss some very useful applications of heating effect of electric current. The first application is that it is used in electrical heating appliances like iron, toaster, etc. We've already discussed these appliances earlier, that the element of these appliances is made of nichrome, which has higher resistivity, hence it produces more heat when current is passed through the element. The next application is that of an electric bulb. In an electric bulb, the filament of the bulb glows. It glows when current is passed through it. When current is passed through the filament, it becomes very hot and starts glowing, which gives you the light. Okay, now this here in the diagram, this is the filament of the bulb that glows on passing the current. We will discuss more about electric bulb in the later part of this video. The third application is that of an electric fuse. It is a very important safety device that is used in various electric circuits. Here I have shown two types of electric fuse on the screen. The fuse wire is usually encased in a cartridge of porcelain or similar material with metal ends. We will learn more about fuse in few minutes. Next, students, we will learn more about the heating effect with the help of some very important questions. So here the first question on the screen says that why tungsten is used as the filament of an electric bulb. So the answer to this question is that the first reason is that tungsten has a very high melting point of 3380 degree Celsius. So when current is passed through the filament of bulb, which is made of tungsten, its temperature rises to such an extent that it becomes white hot without melting. It will not melt away. The other reasons are that the tungsten is a very strong metal, it is very flexible, and also it does not evaporate at high temperature. So these are the reasons for which tungsten is used as filament of the bulb. The next question is that why an electric bulb is not filled with air but it is filled with gases like nitrogen and argon. That is, look here in the diagram, students, that is the atmosphere inside the bulb. Why it is filled with nitrogen and argon but not with air? The reason for this is that at high temperatures, tungsten may react with air, may react with the oxygen of air, and it will burn up quickly. So we do not enclose our bulb in a we do not enclose the filament of the bulb in an atmosphere of air. Instead of this, we fill the inside of the bulb with some chemically inactive gas like nitrogen or argon. Since these gases are chemically inactive, so they do not react with tungsten, which increases the life of tungsten, which prolong the life of filament. The filament which is made of tungsten. Now the third question is that why filament type bulbs are not power efficient. Students, you must have noted these filament type bulbs that is shown on the screen, they are no more in use these days. We hardly use them. So what is the reason for that? The reason is that the electric power that is consumed by these filament type bulbs, out of that electric power, the most of the power appears as heat. The most of the power appears as heat, and only a small portion of that power gets converted into light. Hence, these bulbs are not considered power efficient. Since only a small part of the electric power is converted into useful light energy, rest is dissipated as heat energy. So the improvements over filament type bulbs are CFL bulbs, CFL lights, or your LED lights that are very much useful these days. These LED lights are very much power efficient. The fourth question is regarding the working of an electric fuse. An electric fuse is a safety device which is made of an alloy of tin and lead, or it can also be made of any metal, but the fuse wire should have a low melting point, and also it should be connected in series with the electric circuit. So it should have low melting point and it should be connected in series. Now how it works? Students note that whenever a large amount of current, larger than the specified value, flows through a circuit, then the temperature of this fuse wire rises, it increases, and the fuse wire melts. When the fuse wire melts, it breaks the circuit, thus protecting the circuit from the damage of high current. So fuse is a very useful safety device used in various electrical circuits. The fifth question says that why does the cord of an electric heater not glow but its heating element does? Students, look in the diagram. This is the cord of the electric heater and this is the element of the electric heater. It is asked that why this cord does not glow and why this this element glows when same current is passed through both of them. So the reason here is that the cord of the heater, it is made of thick copper wires, and as we know that a copper wire has low resistivity, hence a thicker copper wire will have low resistance in comparison to the element which is made of nichrome. Nichrome has higher resistivity. So when same current is passed through both of them, then as per the Joule's law of heating, that is I square RT, here since I and T, the values of I and T are same, so heat produced is proportional to R. Now R is less for copper wire for cord and R is more for the element that is nichrome. So due to high heat produced in the element starts glowing. But not much heat is produced in the cord which is made of copper, so it does not glow. Students, the reasoning questions from this topic are very important from the examination point of view. So you must go through this video twice or thrice. That's all for today's class. Thank you very much.